Right, hi everyone. So today's date, please unlearn an objective, okay? And then pause the video while you're doing that, and then we'll get started. So date and learn an objective, please. Right, doing it slightly differently today because my phone broke. So I'm using the visualizer. So hopefully it'll be all right. Okay. Right. So as the learn objective explained, it's going to be converting fractions to decimals and percentages, mainly to decimals, because from decimals to percentages is easy. Okay, so let's just through the basic list. So if we've got the fraction, now you can copy these down if you want. We'll just have the decimal. It'll be useful to have these in your book, okay, and the percentage. So let's start off with a nice. So first of all, we'll start with 1, which isn't a fraction, obviously, but we can turn it into a fraction by putting it 1 over 1, okay? And that decimal will be 1.0, and that's 100%. So that isn't a fraction, but that's a good point to start with, because from here we can go for the half, okay? And a half, as we should remember, is 0.5, because that is half of 1.0, isn't it? And that's 50%. And then from there, we've got a quarter, okay? Quarter, and this then, if you just remembering, a quarter is half of a half, isn't it? So if you halve a half, you get a quarter. So we're going to half this as well. And remember, this decimal could also be 0.50, okay? So we half 50 and get 0.25, and that's 25%, okay? Then we've got 1/8, and that will give us again an eighth is a half of a quarter. Okay, if we split a quarter into half, part of that's going to be an eighth. So again, we're going to halve this. Okay, so if we imagine an extra 0 on there, okay, we get 0.1, a half of 250, so it's 0.125. And then that becomes 12.5%. I'll do a little bit more on this conversion afterwards, okay? So we've got those as our starting points, okay? I'm going to be rubbing some of these out, so just to create a bit more space. So when we've got 1/4 is 0.25, okay? 3/4 then will obviously be, if 1/4 is 0.25, 2/4, which is the same as a half, isn't it, is 50. So 3/4 0.75. Now I know we probably all know this, but it's worth going over just in case. Okay, and then it's the same when we've got 1/8, and that's 0.125. Okay, then if we've got 3/8, remember to go from 1/8 to 3/8, we're just timesing this by 3, aren't we? Okay. 1/8, so we do that, so we go 125, 0.25 times by 3 times by whatever the numerator is. Sorry, the numerator, 5, carry the 1, 7, 375, so it becomes 0.375. So just to keep, so once you know 1/8, a bit like the work we did last lesson, you'll be able to find 3/8 as once you find 1/4, etc. Okay, right, let's look at some more. Okay, as I said, write these down if you want. If you're really confident and you know them, and I'll show you ways of working them out, even if you forget them anyway. So then we've got 1/10, decimal 0.1, and percentage 10%. Okay, 10%. So therefore 3/10. Yeah, you're just timesing that by 3, 0.3, etc. 0.7, sorry, 7/10, 0.7, 8/10, 0.8, etc. 30%. 1/5, 1/5. Now, some people will be able to remember 1/5. Now, the way I kind of do it as well, if I can't quite remember, I'm going to turn it into an equivalent fraction of tenths. Okay, 1/5 is the same as 2/10, because I'm timesing that by 2, timesing that by 2. 2/10 is so easy, 0.2. 20%. So the same if I had 3/5. Okay, same if I had 3/5. Then I'm timesing that by 2 to make tenths, 6/10, 0.6, 60%. Okay, so if we've got that, what do we reckon 1/20th would be? 1/20th. Have a think about that. What would 1/20th be? Okay, well, 1/20th, okay. Actually, and it's amazing how many people put 0.5, but it's going to be 0.05. And I'll show you a little bit more about why that is later on. 0.05, and that's 5%. Okay, I think we'll just do a few more. So let's have a look here. So we've got fraction 1/3. Okay. And then the decimal for that is 0.33333, and they will go on forever. So just to round it to 2 decimal places, 0.33, and that's 33%. Oh, sorry, if I was 33.333%, and they will go on forever as well. Okay, so we'll just round it to 2 decimal places. Remember when you're rounding, okay? Let's do a proper rounding first, 0.333. I'm rounded to 2 decimal places. Just a quick reminder. I put my line, I got 1, 2 numbers after the decimal point, and then I say, will this 3 affect that? So this is below 5, so it stays the same, doesn't it? So it becomes 0.33. And then 2/3. 0.66666, and again, if we're rounding 2 decimal places, I'm going to put that there. Does that affect that? Yes, it does. This time this is 5 or above, so we can 0.67. That's just rounded to 2 decimal places. So percentage 66.67. And then what do we reckon to 3/3? Okay. Anyone think it's 0.999999? Okay. Well, it's not. Okay. It's no, sorry, whatever the 3/3 is obviously 1, isn't it? So 1.0 and 100%. Okay. Right. That'll do us on that. So that's just kind of, I know a lot of you will already know those. Okay. Right. So what we're going to be looking at now is just different ways of calculating those. So they're the kind of basic ways. Well, first of all, let's just convert decimals to, so if I want to convert 0.2 into a percentage, all I have to do is times it by 100. So if I want to turn that, make it into a percentage, okay, and remember I can put on the 0.20, I times it by 100. Remember I'm moving the numbers 2 places to the left, so it's 20%. 0.37 times 100. I'm moving the numbers. So let's look at the 7. It's going to move 1, 2, so it becomes 37%. So just remember, and you might have 0.316. The same rule applies. You times it by 100. So it will be the 1 goes there and there. So the 1 is this side and the 6 is that side. 31.6%. Just a reminder on that, okay? Right. So, all very well. 3/4 equals 75. Sorry, no percentages of 0.75. Okay, we can remember that one. Now, I'm just going to show you why that is, because there will be some that actually you just can't remember, and there is a way of working them out, and it's not a difficult way. Okay, so this here, if we think of 3/4, think about what that actually means. Okay, what a fraction means, and all that means is 3 divided by 4. Okay, 3 divided by 4. That's what a fraction is. It's one number divided by another. Okay, 3 divided by 4. So if I did that as a bus stop method, 3 divided by 4. And I'm going to put in a couple of zeros after my decimal point to put my decimal point in there. And then I'm just going to do it normally. Okay, how many 4s in 3? None. Carry the 3. How many 4s are in 30? 7. Carry the 2. How many 4s are in 25? 0.75. So 3, this was 3 divided by 4. So I'm just really doing that calculation, okay? Because we need to do that when we've got things like 3/7. Now, I don't know, 3/7 as a decimal isn't easy, okay? We'd have to do 3 divided by 7, because that's what that is, 3 divided by 7. So I'm going to do 3, I'm going to divide it by 7, and I'm going to put 3 zeros there, okay? Put my decimal point in. How many 7s in 3? None. Carry the 3. How many 7s in 30? 4. Carry the 2. How many 7s in 22? Carry the 6. It's very early. How many 7s are in 60? 7, 8. Okay, and I'm not actually going to worry about my remainder there because I'm rounding it to 2 numbers after the decimal place. Now this would go on forever, by the way. Okay, this number would go on forever. So the reason I'm doing 3 numbers, I'm going to stop at 3 because I'm going to round it to 2 places after the decimal point. So at this point I go here and I say how much bigger is that than that? Okay. And I get this does, yes, sorry, does the 8 affect the 2? It does, of course. So this becomes 0. So the answer to this is 0.43 to 2 numbers after the decimal point, to 2 decimal places. So I just divide them up. Okay, very quickly, one more. Okay, so if I go 5/9, okay, that is of course 5 divided by 9. So I do 5 divided by 9. Remember to get the right numbers in the right place, okay? The temptation is always to put the smaller number outside, but it doesn't always work like that, okay? Note, carry the 5. How many 9 5s are 45? 5, carry the 5. Oh, 9 5s are 45. Carry the 5. 9 5s. And we will talk about how we express these sort of remainders. Okay, I forgot the word. Right, how we express these sort of remainders, sort of further down the line. Okay, so again, I'm going to round it. Okay, yeah, this 5 or greater, this 5 goes up, equals 0.56. So I can do them that way. So if it's a number I can't do straight away, okay, I would do it that way. Okay. If I've got something like 7/50, okay, what I can do, I can make that an equivalent fraction out of 100, because that's what a decimal is as well, isn't it? Okay, so if I times that by 2, times that by 2, I get 14/100. 14/100 is 0.14, isn't it? Okay, if I've got 9/25, okay, I can and then I turn that into an equivalent fraction, times by 4, times by 4, now into a 36. So that will give me 0.36. So you can, if another way of doing them, if you can see that the denominator goes nicely into 100, you can just convert them into a fraction over 100. And it saves you a bit of work, okay? Right, yep, okay, that'll do us on those, I think. Right, it also, if you've got something like 2, if they ask you to do 2 and 4/5, okay, you just do the whole number first, and that's 2 points, isn't it? Okay, so anything with a whole number, just, that stays exactly the same, and you just convert the fraction. 1/5 is 0.2, 4/5 is 0.8, 2.8. So when you get a whole number, don't panic. It's just that you just put the whole number in, okay? So that's just a quickie there. I'm sure you would have realized that anyway. Right, and then you can have something like 15/20ths, okay? And in fact, you can just simplify. Sometimes it's easy to simplify them first, okay? So if I'm going to simplify, it goes into both, and that's 3/4, and I know the 3/4 is 0.75. Okay, could have 6/15ths. And then can I simplify that into an easier one? Well, 3 goes into them both, so that becomes 2/5. Now I know 1/5 is 0.2, so I'm doing a 0.4, okay? You might have, say for example, you had 8/200ths. Well, that time I'm just going to do an equivalent fraction and simplify that into 400ths. Remember, for 400ths, just be careful. It's 0.04 because there's no tenths. This is the tenths, this is the hundredths, isn't it? So there's no tenths. So remember to put that 0 in, because the answer is not 0.4. Okay, definitely not. So put that 0 in, okay? Right, okay, that'll do us there. Have a go at these, please. Have a go at these. Pause the video when you are done, okay? Pause the video when you're done. Sorry, pause the video when while you do these, and then press play, okay? Off you go. Right, let's quickly go through these, okay? Let's quickly go through these. The 3/5 should be know that 0.6. Okay, this one 24/60. Okay, I think this is probably one we can simplify first, is it? I'm not too sure. I haven't worked out the answers yet. So I know that 6 goes into them both. So that would be 4/10, isn't it? Yeah, 4/10. 0.4. 6 12, yeah. This one obviously is going to be a mixed number. So we can put 8 and 2/8. It becomes 8 and 2/8. Okay. And from there, I would probably do, 1 and 2/8. And then I do, well, that's the same as 1 1/4, 1.25. Okay. 5/8. Okay. 5/8. Well, we know 1/8 is equal to 0.125. So 5/8, I'm going to times that by 5. Okay, and it should give me 0.625. Okay, then we got 4/11, and this is one where I'm definitely going to have to divide it, isn't it? Because 4/11 is 4 divided by 11. So I'm going to do 4 divided by 11. Okay, and so 0.43, carry the 7, 6. That was 6, 4, so that's going to be 3, so it would be 0.36. Hope I haven't made a mistake there, rushing that. Okay. This next one, all I would do is turn it into a fraction over 100, first of all. Okay. So 19, so that's going to be 76. Yeah, 76. And so that's 0.76. Okay. 2/9, another one we're going to have to do. 2 divided by 9. 2 divided by 9. Okay. Note, carry the 2. So that's 2, carry the 2. Oh, this looks like one of those. 2, carry the 2. Okay. So by 0.22. The last one, okay, oh dear, my 13 times table. Right, 7 divided by 13. 1, there we go. Note 7. So that's going to be 5. There is 65, I think. Carry the 5. 39. 13, 26, 39. So that's going to be 3, carry the 11. So then we've got how many 13s in there? So we've got 65. Well, I know it's going to be greater than 5. It's more than 5. Okay, I don't even have to work that out. So I know this is going to be a 4. 0.54. I hope that's correct. Okay. If not, I'm sure somebody will tell me. Right, okay. Now, just before you go off and do your work, okay, there's one other way I want to show you how to do them, and it's the easiest way, of course, because it's by calculator. Okay, hopefully you'll be able to see this okay. Now, if you want to do by calculator, some of the questions you're going to do, you are allowed to. Okay, not all of them. And some of them they say you can, and I want you to try and work them out yourself. So here, if I want to find out 3/4, I just do, let's turn it on. First of all, I do 3 divided by 4, and that will equal 0.75. Okay, so actually, any calculation is anything is easy on the calculator, any conversion. If I want to do what's 13 17ths, 13 divided by 17 equals, and you can see it'll give, and I would round that to 0.76. Okay, and so on. So if you want to, when you come to those sort of questions, it is just as simple as 7 divided by 9 equals, I think it's 0.777, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Right. Right, well done, everyone. Okay, off you go with the work. It's on my school portal, and I will speak to you tomorrow. Okay. Oh, remember, I'm online. Okay, contact me if you've got any problems at all, please. Okay. Thanks. Bye.